Chanuk, a fragment of the Book of Noah, chapter 60. In the year 500, and the 7th month, on the 14th day of the month of the height of Chanuk, in the parable I saw how a mighty quakey made the Shemayim of the Shemayim to quake, and the host of the Most High, and the messengers, 1,000 thousands of 10,000 times 10,000, were disturbed with a great unrest. And the head of days sat on a throne of his esteem, and the messengers and the righteous stood around him. And a great trembling seized me, and fear took hold of me, and my loins gave way, my kidneys melted, and I fell upon my face. And Mikael sent another messenger from among the Kodashim, and he raised me up, and when he had raised up, my Rook returned, for I had not been able to endure the look of this host, and the commotion and the quaking of the Shemayim. And Mikael said to me, "Why are you disturbed with such a vision? Until this day lasted the day of his compassion, and he has shown favor and patience towards those who dwell on the earth. And when the day, the power, the punishment, the judgment come which Yahuwah of hosts has prepared for those who do not worship the righteous law, and for those who deny the righteous right ruling, and for those who take his name in vain, that day is prepared for the elect, a covenant, but for lawless, a judgment, when the punishment of Yahuwah of hosts shall rest upon them. It shall rest in order that the punishment of Yahuwah of hosts may not come in vain. And it shall slay the children with their mothers, and the children with their fathers. Afterward, the judgment shall take place according to his compassion and his patience. On that day were two monsters parted, a female monster named Leuathan, to dwell in the abysses of the ocean, over the fountains of the waters, and the male is named Bahamut, who occupied with his breast a waste wilderness named Deudian, on the east of the garden where the elect and righteous dwell, where my grandfather was taken up, the seventh from Adam, the first male whom Yahuwah of hosts created. And I pleaded with the other messenger that he should show me with the might of those monsters how they were parted on one day and cast, the one into the abyss of the sea, and the other into the dry land of the wilderness. And he said to me, "You bond of male, in this do you seek to know what is hidden?" And the other messenger who went with me showed me what was hidden, and told me what is first and last, and the Shemayim, and the height, and beneath the Eretz and the depth, at the ends of the Shemayim, on the fountain of the Shemayim, and the chambers of the winds, and how the winds were divided, and how they were weighed. And the portals of the winds are reckoned, each according to the power of the wind, and the power of the lights of the lesser light, and according to the power that is fitting, the division of the stars, according to their names, and how all the divisions are divided, the thunders according to the places where they fall, and all the divisions that are made among the lightnings, that it may lightning, and their hosts that they may at once obey. For the thunder has places of rest assigned while it is waiting for its pearl, and the thunder and lightning are inseparable, although not one and undivided. They both go together through the root and do not separate. For when the lightning lightens, the thunder utters its voice, and the spirit enforces a pause during the peal, and divides equally between them. For the treachery of their peals is like the sand, and each one of them, as it peals, is held in with the brittle, and turned back by the power of the root, and pushed it forward according to the much quarters of the Eretz. And the rook of the sea is masculine, strong, according to the might of its strength. He draws it back with a rein, In the same way, it is driven forward and disperses amid all the mountains of the Eretz. And the rook of the hoar frost is its own messenger, and the spirit of the hail is a good messenger, and the spirit of the snow has forsaken his chambers on account of his strength. There is a special spirit therein, and that which ascends from it is like smoke, and its name is frost. And the rook of the mist is not united with them and their chambers, but it has a special chamber, for its course is magnificent both in light and in darkness, and in winter and in summer, and in its chamber is a messenger. And the spirit of dew has its dwelling at the ends of the Shamayim, and is connected with the chambers of rain, and its course is in winter and summer, and its clouds and the clouds of the mist are connected, and the one gives to the other. And when the spirit of rain goes forth from its chamber, the messengers come and open the chamber and lead it out. And when it is diffused over the whole Eretz, it unites with the water on the Eretz. And whenever it unites with the water on the Eretz, for the waters are those who dwell on the Eretz, for they are nourishment for the Eretz from the Most High, who is in the Shamayim. Therefore, there is a measure for the rain, and the messengers take it in charge. And these I saw towards the garden of righteous. And the messenger of peace who was with me said to me, these two monsters prepared conformable to the greatness of Alain shall feed. Chapter 61. And I saw in those days how long cords were given to those messengers, and they took to their wings and flew, and they went towards the north. And I asked the messenger, saying unto him, why have they taken these cords and gone off? And he said to me, they have gone to measure. And the messenger who went with me said, these shall bring the measures of the righteous and the ropes of the righteous to the righteous, that they may support themselves on the name of Yahuwah of hosts forever and ever. The elect shall begin to dwell with the elect, and those are the measures which shall be given to belief, and which shall strengthen righteousness. And these measures shall reveal all the secrets of the depths of the Eretz, and those who have been destroyed by the desert, and those who have been devoured by the beast, and those who have been devoured by the fish of the sea, that they may return and support themselves on the day of the elect one. For none shall be destroyed before Yahuwah of hosts, and none can be destroyed. And all who dwell above in the Shamayim received a command and power, and one voice and one light like fire. And their first words, that one they barak, and exalt, and lifted up with wisdom. And they were wise in utterance and in the spirit of height. And Yahuwah of hosts placed the elect one on the throne of esteem, and he shall judge the works of the Kadush above in the Shamayim, and in the balance shall their deeds be weighed. And when he shall lift up his face to judge their secret ways according to the word of the name of Yahuwah of hosts, and their path according to the way of the righteous judgment of Yahuwah of hosts, then shall they all with one voice speak in barak and esteem and exalt and kadush the name of Yahuwah of hosts. And he will summon all the hosts of the Shemayim, and all the kadushim above, and the hosts of Alaim, the cherubim, Sepharim, or Seraphim, Ufanim, and all the messengers of power, and all the messengers of principalities, and the elect one, and the other powers on the Eretz and over the water, on that day shall raise one voice, and barak and esteem and exalt in the spirit of belief, and in the spirit of wisdom, and in the spirit of patience, and in the spirit of favor, and in the spirit of judgment, and of peace, and in the spirit of goodness. And shall all say with one voice, Baruch is he, and may the name of Yahuwah of hosts be Baruch forever and ever. All who do not sleep in the Shamayim above shall barak him. All the Kodashim who are in the Shamayim shall barak him. And all the elect who dwell in the garden of Hai, and every rook of light who is able to Barak and esteem and exalt and kadush your Baruch name, and all flesh shall beyond measure esteem and Barak your name forever and ever. For great is the favor of Yahweh of hosts, and he is patient. And all his works and all that he has created, he has revealed to the righteous and elect in the name of Yahweh of hosts. Chapter 62. And thus Yahweh commanded the sovereigns and the mighty and the exalted and those who dwell on the earth, and said, Open your eyes, lift up your horns, if you are able to recognize the elect one. And Yahweh of hosts seated him on the throne of his esteem, and the spirit of righteousness was poured out upon him, and the word of his mouth slays all the lawless, and all the unrighteous are destroyed from before his face. And there shall stand up in that day all the sovereigns and the mighty and the exalted, and those who hold the arets, and they shall see and recognize how he sits on the throne of his esteem, and righteousness is rightly ruled before him, and no lying word is spoken before him. Then pain shall come upon them as a female in travail, when her child enters the mouth of the womb, and she is in pain bringing forth. And one portion of them shall look on the other, and they shall be terrified, they shall be sad-faced, pain shall seize them, when they see the bond of Adam sitting on the throne of his esteem. And the sovereigns of the mighty, and all who possess the arets, shall barak and esteem and exalt him who rules over all, who was hidden. For from the beginning of the bond of Adam was hidden, and the Most High preserved him in the presence of his might, and revealed him to the elect. And the congregation of the elect and the Kadush shall be shown, and all the elect shall stand before him on that day. And all the sovereigns and the mighty and the exalted and those who rule the arets shall fall down before him on their faces, and worship, and place their expectancy upon the bond of Adam, and petition him, and make supplication for compassion at his hands. Nevertheless, the Adon of hosts will so press them, and they shall hastily go forth from his presence, and their faces shall be filled with shame. The darkness grow deeper on their faces. He will deliver them to the messengers for punishment, to execute vengeance on them, because they have oppressed his children and his elect. And they shall be a spectacle for the righteous and for his elect. They shall rejoice over them, because the wrath of Yahweh of hosts rested upon them, and his sword is drunk with their blood. And the righteous and elect shall be saved on that day, and they shall never thereafter see the face of the lawless and unrighteous. And Yahuwah of hosts will abide over them, and with the bond of Adam they shall eat and lie down, rise up forever and ever. And the righteous and elect shall have risen from the arets and ceased to be sad-faced, and they shall have been clothed with garments of esteem, and these shall be the garments of height from Yahuwah of hosts. And your garments shall not grow old, nor your esteem pass away before Yahuwah of hosts. Chapter 63. And those days the mighty and the sovereigns who possess the arets shall beg to grant them a little relief from his messengers of punishment to whom they were delivered, that they might fall down and worship before Yahuwah of hosts, confess their crimes before him, and they shall barak and esteem Yahuwah of hosts, and say, Baruch is Yahuwah of hosts, and Baruch and Yahuwah of sovereigns, and Yahuwah of the mighty, and Yahuwah of the rich, and Yahuwah of esteem, and Yahuwah of wisdom. And splendid in every secret matter is your power from generation to generation, and your esteem forever and ever. Deep are all your secrets, and innumerable, and your righteousness is beyond reckoning. We have now learned that we should esteem and barak Yahuwah of sovereigns, and him who is sovereign over all sovereigns. And they shall say, Oh, that we had rest to esteem and give thanks, and confess our belief before his esteem. And now we long for a little rest, but do not find it. We follow hard upon, and do not obtain. And light has vanished from before us, and darkness is our dwelling place forever and ever. For we have not believed before him, nor esteemed the name of Yahuwah of hosts. But our expectancy was the scepter of our reign, and in our esteem. In the day of our suffering and tribulation, he does not save us, and we find no relief for confession that our Adon is true in all his works, and his right rulings and his justice, and his right rulings have no respect of persons. And we pass away from before the face on the account of our works, and all our crimes are reckoned up in righteousness. Now they shall say unto themselves, our beings are full of righteousness, or full of unrighteousness gain, but it does not prevent us from descending from the midst thereof into the burden of Gehinnom. And after that their faces shall be filled with darkness and shame before the bond of Adam. And they shall be driven from his presence, and all the sword shall abide before his face in their midst. Thus spoke Yahuwah of hosts. This is the statute and judgment with respect to the mighty and the sovereigns and the exalted, and those who possess the Eretz before Yahuwah of hosts. Chapter 64. And other forms I saw hidden in that place. I heard the voice of a messenger saying, these are the messengers who descended to the Eretz and revealed what was hidden to the children of males and seduced the children of males into criming. 65. Chapter 65. And in those days Noah saw the Eretz, that it had sunk down, and its destruction was near. And he arose from there and went to the ends of the Eretz, and cried aloud to his grandfather Chanuk. And Noah said 3 times with an embittered voice, hear me, hear me, hear me. And I said to him, tell me what it is that is falling out on the Eretz, that the Eretz is in such evil plight and shaken, if perhaps I shall perish with it. And after that there was a great commotion on the Eretz. A voice was heard from the Shemayim, and I fell on my face. And Chanuk, my grandfather, came and stood by me, and said to me, why have you cried unto me with a bitter cry and weeping? A command has gone forth from the presence of Yahuwah concerning those who dwell on the Eretz, that their ruin is accomplished, because they have learned all the secrets of the messengers, and all the violence of the adversaries, and all their powers, the most secret ones, and all the power of those who practice sorcery, and the power of witchcraft, and the power of those who make molten images for the Eretz, and how the silver is produced from the dust of the Eretz, how soft metal originates in the Eretz. For lead, tin are not produced from the Eretz like the first. It is a fountain that produces them, and a messenger stands therein, and that messenger is the head. And after that my grandfather, Chanuk, took hold of me by the hand and raised me up, and said to me, go, for I have asked Yahuwah of hosts regarding this commotion on the Eretz. And he said to me, because of their unrighteousness their judgment has been determined upon, and shall not be withheld by me forever, because of the sorceries which they have searched out and learned. The Eretz and those who dwell upon it shall be destroyed, and these they have no place of repentance forever, because they have shown them what is hidden, and they are condemned. But as for you, my bond, Yahuwah of hosts knows that you are pure and guiltless of this reproach concerning the secrets, and he has destined your name to be among the Kadush, and will preserve you amongst those who dwell on the Eretz, and has destined your righteous seed both for sovereignty and for great honors, and from your seed shall proceed a fountain of the righteous, and Kadush without number forever. Chapter 66. And after that he showed me the messengers of punishment, who are prepared to come and let loose all the powers of the waters which are beneath the Eretz, in order to bring judgment and destruction on all who dwell on the Eretz. And Yahuwah of hosts gave command to the messengers who were going forth, that they should not cause the waters to rise, but should hold them in check. For those messengers were over the powers of the waters. And I went away from the presence of Chanuk. Chapter 67. And in those days the word of Elohim came unto me, and he said unto me, Noah, your lot has come up before me without a lot without blame, a lot of love and righteous uprightness. And now the messengers are making a wooden object, and they have completed that. And when they have completed that task, I will place my hand upon it and preserve it, and there shall come forth from it the seed of height. And a change shall come so that the Arets will not remain without inhabit. I will establish your seed before me forever and ever. I will spread abroad those who dwell with you. It shall not be unfruitful on the face of the Arets. It shall be Baruch and multiply on the Arets in the name of Yahuwah. And he will imprison those messengers who have shown unrighteousness, and that burning valley which my grandfather Chanuk had formerly shown to me, in the west among the mountains of gold, silver, iron, soft metal, and tin. And I saw that valley in which there was a great earthquake, and a convulsion of the waters. And when all this took place from that fiery molten metal, and from the earthquake in that place, there was produced a smell of sulfur, and it was connected with those waters that the valley of the messengers who had led astray burned beneath that land. And through its valleys proceeded streams of fire, where these messengers are punished who had led astray those who dwell upon the Arets. But those waters shall in those days serve for the sovereigns and the mighty and exalted, and those who dwell on the Arets, for the healing of the body, but for the punishment of the rook. Now their rook is full of lust, that they may be punished in their body, for they have denied Yahuwah of hosts, and see their punishment daily, and yet do not believe in his name. And in proportion as the burning of their bodies becomes severe, a corresponding change shall take place in their root forever and ever. For before Yahuwah of hosts, none shall utter an idle word, for the judgment shall come upon them, because they believe in the lust of their body and deny the root of Yahuwah. And those same waters will undergo a change in those days. For when those messengers are punished in those waters, these waters spring shall change their temperature. And when the messengers ascend, this water of the springs shall change and shall become cold. And I heard Mikael answering this and saying, this judgment with which the messengers are judged is a witness for the sovereigns of the mighty who possess the Arets, because these waters of judgment minister to the healing of the body of sovereigns and the lust of their body. Therefore they will not see and will not believe that those waters will change and become a fire which burns forever. Chapter 68. And after that my grandfather Chanuk gave me the teaching of all the secrets in the book of parables which had been given to him, and he put them together for me in the words of the book of parables. And on that day Mikael answered Raphael and said, the power of the rook of transports and makes me tremble because of the severity of the judgment of the secrets, the judgment of the messengers. Who can endure the severe judgment which has been executed, and before which they melt away? And Mikael answered again and said to Raphael, who is he whose heart is not softened concerning it, and whose kidneys are not troubled by this word of judgment gone forth upon them, because of those who have thus led them out? And it came to be, when he stood before Yahuwah of hosts, Mikael said thus to Raphael, I will not take their part under the eye of Yahuwah, for Yahuwah of hosts has been angry with them, because they do as if they were Yahuwah. Therefore all that is hidden shall come upon them forever and ever. For neither messenger nor male shall have his portion, but alone they shall receive their judgment forever and ever. Chapter 69. And after this judgment they shall terrify and make them to tremble, because they have shown this to those who dwell on the Arets. And see, the names of these messengers, and these are their names. The first of them is Sham Yatzah, the second Artak Ikpa, and the third Arman, the fourth Kuk Abal, The fifth, Tura'al. The sixth, Rum Ya'al. The seventh, Daniel. The eighth, Naka'al. The ninth, Barakial. The 10th, Azazal. The 11th, Marus. The 12th, Batar Ya'al. The 13th, Busas Ya'al. The 14th, Hanan Al. The 15th, Tural. The 16th, Zimapazal. The 17th, Yatra'al. The 18th, Tuma'al. The 19th, Zurial. The 20th, Rama'al. The 21st, Azazal. And these are the chiefs of their messengers and their names, and the chiefs of ones over hundreds, ones over fifties, and over tens. The name of the first was Yakun, that is the one who led astray the Banim of Alaim, who brought them down to the Arets, and led them astray through the daughters of males. The second was named Azbal. He imparted to the Kadush Banim of Alaim evil counsel, and led them astray, so that they defiled their bodies with the daughters of males. The third was named Gadriel. It is he who shown the children of males all the smitings of death, and he led astray Hauah, and showed the shield of the coat of mail, and the swords for battle, all the weapons, and death to the children of males. And from his hand they have proceeded against those who dwell on the Arets from that day for eternity. And the fourth was named Panamual. He taught the children of males the bitter and the sweet, and he taught them all the secrets of their wisdom. And he instructed mankind in writing with ink and paper, thereby much crimed from everlasting unto everlasting, and until this day. For males were not created for such a purpose, to give confirmation to their good belief with pen and ink. For males were created exactly like the messengers, to the intent that they should continue pure and righteous, and death which destroys all matters could not have taken hold of them. But through this their knowledge they are perishing, and through this power it is consuming me. The fifth one was named Kasdaya. This is the one who showed the children of males all the wicked smitings of spirits and demons, and the smiting of embryo in the womb, that it may pass away, and the bites of the serpent, and the smitings which befalls through the noontide heat, the bond of the serpent named Taba'at. And this is the task of Kazba'al, the chief of the oath which he showed to the Kadoshim when he dwelt high above in esteem, and its name is Bika. This one requested Mika'al to show him the hidden name, that he might pronounce it in the oath, so that those might quake before that name and oath, who revealed all that was in secret to the children of males. And this is the power of the oath, for it is powerful and strong, and he placed this oath, Aka'al, in the hand of Mika'al. And these are the secrets of the oath, and they are strong through his oath. And the Shemayim was suspended before the world was created and forever. And through it the Arets was founded upon the water, and from the secret recesses of the mountains come pleasant waters, from the creation of the world and unto forever. And the oath, and through that oath the sea was created, and as its foundation he appointed for it the sand against the time of anger, and it dare not pass beyond it from creation of the world unto forever. And through that oath are the depths made firm, and endure, and do not move from their place from everlasting to everlasting. And through that oath the greater light and the lesser light complete their course, and deviate not from their ordinance, from everlasting to everlasting. And through that oath the stars complete their course, and he calls them by their names, and they answer him from everlasting to everlasting. And in the same way this Rukut of the water, of the wind, and of all breezes, and paths from all the quarters of the winds, and there are preserved the voices of thunder and light of the lightnings, and there are preserved the chambers of hail, the chambers of the hoarfrost, the chambers of the mist, the chambers of the rain, and the dew. And all these believe and give thanks before Yahweh of hosts, and praise with all their power, and their food is in every act of thanksgiving. They thank and esteem and exalt the name of Yahweh of hosts forever and ever. And this oath is mighty over them, and through it they are preserved, and their paths are preserved, and their course is not destroyed. And there was great joy amongst them, and they barak and esteemed and exalted, because the name of the Ban of Adam had been revealed unto them. And he sat on the throne of his esteem, and the sum of judgment was given unto the Ban of Adam. And he caused the lawless to pass away and be destroyed from off the face of the earth, and those who have led the world astray. With chains shall they be bound, and their assemblage place of destruction shall they be imprisoned, and all their works vanish from the face of the earth. And from here on there shall be none corruptible. For the Ban of Adam has appeared, and has seated himself on the throne of his esteem, and all evil shall pass away before his face. And the word of the Ban of Adam shall go forth, and be strong before Yahweh of hosts. This is the third parable of Chanuk, chapter 70. And it came to be after this, that his name during his height was raised above to the Ban of Adam, and to Yahweh of hosts from among those who dwell on the earth. He was raised above on chariots of the Rook, and his name vanished among them. And from that day I was no longer numbered amongst them. And he placed me between the two winds, between the north and the west, where the messenger took the cords to measure for me the place for the elect and righteous. And there I saw the first fathers and the righteous, who from the beginning dwell in that place. Chapter 71. And it came to be after this, that my Rook was translated, and it ascended into the Shemayim, and I saw the Kadush Banim of Alaim. They were stepping on flames of fire. Their garments were white, and their faces shone like snow. And I saw two streams of fire, and the light of that fire shone like jacinth. And I fell on my face before Yahweh of hosts. The messenger, Mikael, seized me by my right hand, lifted me up, led me forth into all the secrets, and he showed me all the secrets of righteousness. And he showed me all the secrets of the end of the Shemayim, and all the chambers of all the stars, and all the lights, where they proceed before the face of the Kadoshim. And he translated my Rook into the Shemayim of Shemayim, and I saw, as it were, a structure built of crystals, and between those crystals tongues of living fire. And my Rook saw the girdle which surrounded that house of fire. On its four sides were streams full of living fire, and they surrounded that house. Round about were seraphim, cherubim, and uphanim, and these are they who do not sleep, but guard the throne of his esteem. And I saw messengers who could not be counted, 1,000 thousands, 10,000s times 10,000s, encircling that house. Mikael and Raphael, Gabriel, Panuel, and the Kadush messengers who are above the Shemayim go in and out of that house. They came forth from that house, and Mikael, and Gabriel, Raphael, and Panuel, and much Kadush messengers without number. And with them the head of days, and his head white and pure as wool, and his garments indescribable. And I fell on my face, and my whole body became relaxed, and my Rook was transfigured. And I cried with a loud voice, and the Rook of power, and Barak, and esteemed, and exalted, and these Barakut, which went forth out of my mouth, were well pleasing before the head of days. And that head of days came with Mikael, and Gabriel, and Raphael, and Panuel, thousands and 10,000s of messengers without number. And he came to me and greeted me with his voice, and said to me, This is the Ban of Adam, who is born unto righteousness, and righteousness abides over him, and righteousness of the head of days does not forsake him. And he said to me, He proclaims unto you peace in the name of the world to come, for from here has proceeded peace since the creation of the earth, and so shall it be unto you forever and ever. And all shall walk in his ways, since righteousness never forsakes him. With him will be their dwelling places, and with him their heritage, and they shall not be separated from him forever and ever and ever. And so there shall be length of days with the bond of Adam. And the righteous shall have peace and an upright way in the name of Yahweh of hosts forever and ever. The book Chanuk, a fragment of the book of Noah.